I cannot see you very well, but oh, you're here. Hello. uh, I would like to try to share with you how the globalization of the world was a failure and how deglobalization is creating needs for what I call reptilian brands. And I will start with two examples. One of my clients is Cadillac. You all know Cadillac, huh? The big American car, right? And for years and years and years, I told them, don't try to be intelligent. Try to be reptilian. So they wanted to create a very intelligent car, like the BMW. You know, the BMW, for example, the 7 Series, when they come to America, they were so complex, done by engineers, that you needed to take a 1 week's training to be able just to turn on the radio. That was ridiculous, right? So they wanted to make very intelligent cars, right? Americans didn't want intelligent Cadillac. They wanted a Cadillac, a real Cadillac, a big American car, Cadillac, big, big, big. They say, no, we're going to make a small Cadillac. A small Cadillac. So it doesn't work. It's not on code with the reptilian. Result, today, they're going to stop the production. Americans are going to stop making cars, trying to copy the German or the Korean or the Japanese. They stop making cars. I mean, can you believe that? The American culture, which is the car culture, to stop producing cars. What are they going to produce? Big trucks, big SUVs, big, 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 the bigger. I remember I was doing some work for GM in Texas, and one of the guys in one of the sessions wanted to show me his truck, a pickup truck, right? It was a pickup truck that cost like $100,000 a truck, right? With leather and stereo, and he said, it was so big. He said, you know, I had to build a bigger garage. My garage was not big enough. So this is something that is interesting, is the conflict between people that are engineers, are programmed to think in terms of price, in terms of all that doesn't fit the reptilian need of the people. It's what really, really works. And so that is a big issue because Americans have to stop production of cars, and all the cars now are going to be produced by the German, the Japanese, the Korean, the Chinese, but not the American anymore. But big trucks, yes, absolutely, American. Now, why big? I don't know if you have been to America, but I used to live in Geneva, and I will take my car, and 5 minutes I will be in France, 10 minutes I will be in Germany, half an hour I will be in Italy. That was my relationship with space, right? One day I came to America, I rented a car, and I drove west. For 1 week, I was in the same country. 1 week with the same currency, the same language, the same salad, beautiful salad, but no taste, everywhere. So suddenly you realize that there is a dimension there. You see, one of my cars, I love cars. One of my cars is a little Mini Cooper, right? But try to go across America with a Mini Cooper with 2 kids, a dog, your grandmother. But you can't do that. You need big. You need a big SUV. So that's what Americans always wanted to have, big cars. Not just big cars, by the way. They want big houses, big food. Oh, food is incredible. Everything should be big in the American mind. Japanese, oh, that's completely different. You see, what is a car in Japan? First of all, you cannot buy a car if you don't have a space where you're going to park your car. And the police come and measure the size of the space. And you can only buy a car that will fit this space. Oh, interesting. Now they don't have any space. So what do? Minify everything, minify. So the culture forces them to make everything small. when the American culture makes you, force you to make everything big. So we have the same reptilian need, but each culture gives us answers that are different. And if we don't respect these differences, we create big negative reactions. So that's what globalization, big mistake, was to say everybody is going to want the same. You're all going to eat the same cheese, you're all going to drink the same alcohol, you're going to drive the same cars. Why? Engineers, thinking in terms of production. If you produce for the whole world, less cost, more profit is better. Of course it's better. Intellectually, it makes sense. At my gut feeling, it doesn't make sense. I don't want that. I want what fits my need, deep need, and the way my culture deal with that. So I want to show you this first graph over here. There are different levels of unconscious, you see. First of all, there is the biology. Now, biology, we cannot argue with biology, right? This is the logic of life, biologic, right? So what are my first needs in terms of biology? Well, we all come from a woman. I'm sorry, I'm not responsible for that, but we all come from a woman. And we all spend around 9 months inside the womb of a woman, right? And we remember. There are tests prove that we remember, the embryo remember its experience inside the womb of the mother. So I remember I was very gentle and quiet embryo. I was very peaceful. I was not arguing, I was not fighting, I was just, and I really enjoyed this place. The room service was excellent. Disco music, boom, 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 boom. Why do you think our young people, adolescents, want to go at night in a dark place, round, listening to boom, 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 boom? Because they've been programmed for 9 months to listen to boom, boom. So they want boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom is global. You go to Japan, boom, boom. You go to Russia, boom. Okay. So I was inside. I was very quiet, very peaceful. I was very gentle. And my first imprint of love was my mother, who obviously loved me, telling me, get out. Hey, what did I do wrong? Get out. But I was very quiet. Out, out, now. Okay, well, yeah. Then I said, can I stay a little longer? No. Can I come back once in a while? No. Wow. So we have something in common around the world. Is the first expression of love was get out. Woo. Maybe that's why so many Americans get divorced after a few years. They never stay together, get out. Okay. Anyway, so this is very important because this is my first imprint. And then the second one is my mother feeding me. And this feeding is loving worldwide. This is global. Why? This is reptilian. I've done recently the code for breast milk and baby formula in China, and then I did it in the US, and I can tell you it's the same. It's a global. But the way you express that is completely different from one culture to another, you see. And so that's what we have to understand. The reptilian brain comes from the biology. The reptilian brain is the oldest part of your brain. We call that reptilian because reptile. And this brain has been here for thousands and thousands of years, millions of years, right? So we cannot argue with this guy. Okay. So my theory is simple. The reptilian brain always wins. You see, let me give you an example. There's some priorities. You cannot go to the opera if you don't breathe. You have to breathe first. So there's a biological priority. Drinking is more important than eating. You can last longer without eating than without drinking liquid. So there are some priorities that are worldwide. But what I want to drink is not the same as what the Japanese want to drink or the Chinese. So that's another thing that is interesting. So at a certain time, you might want to have something that fulfills your need, but you want that to have another dimension, not just the reptilian dimension. You want an emotion. And that's the second brain. The second brain is the notion of culture, is the second one. That's what you're going to see. The culture is telling you something. My definition of a culture is very simple. It's a survival kit inherited at birth and transmitted from one generation to another generation. So that's what you are. If you are Turkish, you have Turkish parents. They told you exactly, unconsciously, how to survive. And so at the biological level, we're all the same. But at the cultural level, we have something in common with a group of people, sometimes different groups. For example, I'm very interested in studying Switzerland. I've been studying Switzerland for like 30 years. The Swiss are incredible. They have 4 official languages. 4. Wow, official languages. Everything should be in 4 languages. German, French, Italian, and Romanche. A little group of people who call Romanche. So, but the Swiss, the German Swiss are more German than the German. The Germans are afraid of the German Swiss. And the French Swiss, they hate the French. They, oh, those French are so vulgar. So you see, this is very interesting to see that despite the fact that they have 4 languages, they have a unifying culture. How do they create this unifying culture? Again, through the reptilian. What it is. The Swiss created Switzerland with a big vow. They all swear that they will always stay together despite all their difference to make sure that this Dame Austrian doesn't invade Switzerland again. There was a defense mechanism. That's why the Swiss are the best soldiers that exist in Europe. In 5 minutes in Switzerland, you have in the street 500,000 soldiers with equipment, ammunition, gun, because they have all the guns at home. So they have an army ready to fight in 5 minutes. Now, who wants to invade Switzerland? Is it chocolate? They want to attack. But the Swiss are paranoid because of the culture that tell them, hey, well, so they've never been invaded, at least not really. They are the best soldiers. The guards of the Pope are still the Swiss mercenaries. And so, again, there is a reptilian dimension that is very important to understand the survival of the culture. So we have things in common. And we could speak a long time about the Ottoman Empire, the Swiss soldiers on his horse, and all that classic things. But I'm sure you're familiar with that. And so then there is the top, which is the person, you as a person. So I want to reassure you, every one of you, you are unique. Everybody is unique. I'm not going into generalization. The fact that you are biologically programmed, and then second, you have something in common with a group of people, which is the culture, it doesn't mean that you're not a person that is unique. And I practiced psychoanalysis for a long time, and I can tell you that what you learn from one person cannot be applied to another one. What you learn about yourself is unique. Everything is really so unique, you have to respect this uniqueness of every person here. So now, if we go in terms of let me see if I can go further. Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah. So this is the 3 brain that I was speaking about. The reptilian brain on one side, and then the limbic brain, and then the cortex. So globalization was invented by cortex people. They were thinking that everything is going to be so easy to produce, either to sell, everybody is going to buy it, everybody is going to, okay. And for some products, it works. But for the real thing that are the reptilian needs is very difficult. I was in Shanghai a few months ago, and on the weekend, all the Chinese are outside doing Tai Chi and so on. They all wear blue jeans. Blue jeans. I call them the blue tribe. I look around here in the lobby, blue jeans. You go to Brazil, blue jeans. So what is going on? You don't have any other way to dress than just to wear blue jeans, you see? And because I'm always want to be like a rebel, so I don't wear blue jeans today. Of course, I have blue jeans like everybody. So there is a globalization of a product like blue jeans. But if you go to food, it's not because you eat sushi once in a while that you want to become Japanese. Anyway, even if you try, you will not be able to become Japanese, so forget it. So there are solutions that are very specific to, and there is a certain logic of emotion. That's why the second brain is very important, is what I call the logic of emotion. You have to understand the logic of emotion. It's emotional, but there is a logic. Let me give you an example. Mothers around the world will tell me, I want my children to grow. And I don't want them to grow. Oh. So you want them to grow and you don't want them to grow? Yeah, this is it. Which side is going to win? Nothing is going to win. This is the way it is. Huh? So it's the tension. The limbic system is always a set of tension that you have to discover. And you have to address these tensions if you want to really communicate and resonate. If your brand has to address these tensions. And so, just to give you an example, I did work for Jeep. You know, the Jeep Wrangler, the little Jeep. It's a 50-year-old product, by the way. Huh? Incredible. The Jeep Wrangler, what we said is, and that fits the American mind very well, when you have a Jeep, you don't need a road. You make the road. Wow. That's part of the American mind. You don't need a road, you make the road. Right, okay, right, super. Yeah? And we created a commercial for the brand where there is a guy arriving with, I don't know, a Kia or a Volvo or whatever, to a gas station in Nevada, in the desert. And he asked the guy at the gas station, I want to go to this village over there, so, how do I go there? So the guy look at the gas station, look at the Volvo, at the car, say, this car, yeah? Okay, you have to go this way for 50 miles, and then this way for another 30 miles, and then this way again for 20 miles, and then you will get there. Okay, thank you. Boom. Then arrive another guy with a Jeep. Remember, you're not in a road, you don't need a road, you make the road. The guy with a Jeep say, hey, I want to go to the same village, what do I do? So the guy look at the car, say, oh, no problem. You go straight, you'll be there in 10 minutes. You don't need a road. So you have to understand this tension, this logic of emotion that really people want. And so I want to show you something about the logic of emotion. This is very interesting. Is one of my favorite stories is the cheese story. And one of my clients was Danone, and they were trying to sell cheese in America, French cheese. All right. First of all, they were showing a very nice woman with a miniskirt, high heels, going to buy cheese. Already in America, it doesn't fit. You don't dress like that, Madame Chanel, Coco Chanel, she said you should always be dressed up to the best because you never know who you're going to meet when you go to buy some bread. So this is it, but not in America, not in America. So first mistake. Then second mistake, they say, this is wrapped up in plastic, and this is the way you should put the fridge in the refrigerator, and so on. Okay, so I want to insist on the fact that we have a first imprint of everything. And that's what I try to do. I discover the first imprint to understand what is the logic of emotion that has been used to create the mental imprint that people use unconsciously every day when you relate to that. Okay, so let me explain. I was born in France during the war, and my mother will take me to buy some cheese. And that was my first imprint. And so we will go to a place where they sell cheese, and my mother will take a camembert, open the camembert, start poking. If you look carefully, there are other people's fingerprints already there. Because other people have done it. Americans say, this is disgusting. So she will poke, then smell, not this one. Then she take another one and do it again until she finds the one that she wants. What is she doing? She's reading the age of the cheese. Why? Because the culture tells you, don't eat young cheese too soon. Don't eat old cheese too late. Eat a cheese that is à cœur, which is a French expression, up to the heart, à cœur. Right? So She is selecting the cheese according to when she wants to eat the cheese. Wow. And this is an art. By the way, in French, everything is an art. You know, the art of living, the art of cooking, the art of gardening, the art of everything. Yeah, so fine, all right. So then, you know, she will take the cheese. She reads the age because the cheese is alive. The cheese can grow. And we go home, we never put the cheese in the refrigerator. Why not? Because we don't put our cat in the refrigerator. The cheese is alive, it has to breathe. Then when we came to America and we tried to use this logic of emotion, it didn't work. American cheese is dead. It's completely dead. It's legally dead and scientifically dead, pasteurized. And it's illegal to sell a cheese that is not pasteurized. And so that was, we had to completely transform, change the whole communication to be able to sell the cheese in America. We have to present the cheese wrapped up in plastic, explain to them how they take out of the plastic, how they put it in the fridge, take it out of the fridge. I mean, all that has to be according to the logic of emotion of the American. And we were successful. So one thing that is important at this logic of emotion is we are, because of the failure of globalization, we are in permanent search of identity. A reptilian product, a reptilian brand has to give me an identity. Why? Because I don't know exactly who I am. I'm on the cell phone all the time, taking selfies, having other people telling me that. We lost. We did recently discover the code for millennial around the world. And the millennial are in a coma, which means they're not there. Their body is there, but their mind is, we don't know where they are. You know, they're on the phone. They are in a coma. And the text is like the IV that they should receive to survive. You know, the IV that they have when you are in an hospital. There is and so that is a text. And if I don't get the text, I'm dead. You see? And then there is a notion of time that is very important for them, is that if my girlfriend sends me a text and I don't answer in the 2 seconds, she thinks I don't love her anymore. 3 seconds, she thinks I'm dead. You see, so the notion of time has been reduced. It's just amazing. There is this notion that... so I call that technosophy. Technosophy is the philosophy coming from technology. Technology is becoming our philosophy. And this is very interesting because we have done a lot of work on technology, artificial intelligence, and so on, robots. I have a great news for you. Very soon, the technology is not going to need us anymore. Technology doesn't need humans. We're going to have robots in all the factories. They don't need us, right? So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go back to the reptilian. Because after a while, the reptilian is survival and reproduction. We need to survive. I just want to share with you something that is, for me, a big insight. Right now, around the world, and I saw that on the news already in Kuwait, they are demonstrating in the street, in Chile, in Colombia, everywhere around the world, young people are in the street fighting. Why are they in the street fighting? Because there is a police there. Oh, so I can attack the police, I can rebel against the police. If there is no police, what am I going to do? Rebel against my phone? Difficult. But the police, yeah, I want the police. They want to, look, the Gilets jaunes in France, every Saturday now for like, I don't know, 6, 7 months, they all go to the Champs-Élysées. To do what? To fight with the police and to burn a restaurant. And I mean, why do they do that? Because they're missing the reptilian. When the technology takes you away from the reptilian, there is an incredible need for the reptilian. And the only way they can go out and they can suddenly fight and be with others together is to be in the street. What is the reason? The reason is irrelevant. Reason is relevant, you know, what the cortex tells you at that time is like, what am I? Is it, yeah, let's go back to this one. the cortex tells you, oh, they increased the price of Subway by 2 cents. Okay, let's go to the street. Let's go fight. 2 cents. Doesn't matter. The cortex gives you an alibi. It's an alibi to do what you want to do anyway. Think about that. So an ideal brand is a brand that can give you the reptilian trigger, the logic of emotion, and a good intellectual alibi to do what you want to do anyway. Very simple, right? So we need to combine the three. We need to have the three all the time, you see. So one element that is very important in what I call reptilian marketing is because we are in a time where we're losing our identity, we need to reconnect with identities. We need to have a brand that is going to give me my identity. I usually say you don't buy a brand, you join a brand. You don't buy a brand, you join a brand. I want to give you an example. My grandmother was from Scotland, and I need to have my little single malt every day, like her, by the way. She drinks single malt every day. But there is a brand that I like very much. It's called Lafrogue. Lafrogue, difficult to pronounce, but Lafrogue brand. And if you buy a bottle of Lafrogue, there is a little leaflet, and there's a number, and this is your piece, a little piece of land that you own in Scotland. They give you a piece of land. I mean, not much. This big, maybe. Huh? Doesn't matter. Huh? And you have you have a certificate. You know this is your land. There is a number, and they even tell you, please come and visit your land. Wow. I'm going to go. I'm so so excited about it. So this is again an incredible dimension there that you just don't buy a product, you join a brand. Now you're a member of the clan. You're a member of this. There's an identity here. You see, and I love this whiskey, but in the same time, you see, I'm doing the promotion for free. I'm sharing that with you because I'm so proud of this notion of identity here. So, in order to be global, a reptilian brand, because even if we're not, we're into deglobalization, every local brand has a contribution to make to the world. So think about your brand, the emotion that behind the brand, the value of the brand, the value, added value that you're going to bring to the rest of the planet. So what you need to have is a village of origin. It doesn't matter what the product is, every product needs a village of origin. Let me give you an example. One of my clients is Jack Daniels. You know Jack Daniels? Square bottle, black bottle, bourbon. Excellent. So I was doing some work for Jack Daniels in Russia, in Moscow, with young people that were telling me, oh, we love Jack Daniels, but we hate Americans. All right? So you like Jack Daniels, but but Jack Daniels is not American. It's Tennessee. Doesn't matter. So you see, so suddenly there is a village of origin that you put in another dimension. I mean, whatever the mistake they make is irrelevant. It's so interesting to see, for example, the value of the French food. And I was born in France, and I love French food, right? But French food is always a location, a village of origin. You can go visit Camembert. This is a village, Camembert. There is a village called Camembert. Champagne, Cognac is a village. I mean, everything is a little village. And each one is a specialty. Les andouillettes de Vire. So everything is coming. So a village of origin. When you have that and you respect this village of origin, that's your contribution. You're bringing an identity, something real, something that is not fabricated. It comes from the real people. That's what I call the reptilian dimension. So. Just to give you another experience I have, I've done a lot of work on luxury products. And I can predict the future of luxury. And I've done the work on, I work for Richemont, for Cartier, for Van Cleef. And so, what is the future of luxury? It's very simple. It's one word. And it's a reptilian word. Hand. We need to be manipulated by our mother to survive. Hand. Manipulation is not bad. We created that. We think, oh, I don't want to be manipulated. Yes, you want to be manipulated. That's why you go to the spa and get massage. You see, think about the success of a spa. You know the spa? You know the spa, the place where you go now? Okay, think about that. The structure is the message. For me, the structure is the message. That doesn't matter what you say. Right? So look at the structure. You're going to be alone in a room for 1 hour, naked, with another person that is going to touch you almost everywhere. What is that? Oh, I have a good alibi. It is healthy. It's for, it's a massage. It's a, oh, come on. Let's be serious. So this is a reptilian success, and I can tell you, the spa. Wow, this is a big business. Huh? There is the perfume and the scent and the massage and the bath, and it's so reptilian. So when I was a kid, I remember people told me about Turkish bath. Well, maybe this is the brand that you should develop around the world. You see, because that was my first imprint of Turkish bath, was supposed to be fantastic. So the hand. Done by hand, made by hand. It's not made in Japan, made in China, made by hand. Now there is whiskey in America, vodka that is made by hand. I don't know if this is real, but they say it, made by hand. So this is the luxury, because you cannot, not done by a machine, not done by a big production, done by hand. This is the future, you see. We did some work on beer recently. And, the big issue is that now everybody is making his own beer in the garage. And so you have all these little but with fantastic names, like the red elephant or the flat tire or whatever. I mean, just crazy names, but always the location, village of origin, and different taste. And so, again, this is the future of the brands that are reptilian brands that are very important here that you need to understand. So the next step for me is how do I survive with a brand that is a local brand that has some village of origin, and when I want to attack the big markets, right? So I want to give another example. I love wine, of course. And I always follow one name, Rothschild. Rothschild. Whatever you see, they're going somewhere. Chile, Rothschild wine, red wine, fantastic. Australia, Rothschild wine, fantastic. Now they are in China. Wow. And so they are planting grapes in China and making Lafite Rothschild in China. And they're selling the bottle of wine made in China to the Chinese, $400 a bottle. Whoa. Now, we forgot that China today is the #1 market for Rolls-Royces in the world. We sell more Rolls-Royce in China than in all the rest of the world combined. By the way, they're communist. Interesting. You see the tension? The emotion, the tension there. So, but Rolls-Royce, you see, and so one key element for me, and I love cars and I love Rolls-Royces, if you want your customer to be loyal to you, you have to be loyal to your customer. And I can predict that Rolls-Royce is going to have some problem in the future. Why? Because it's owned today by German engineers. Oh. And so these guys have absolutely no idea of marketing. Oh. They knew artificial intelligence, they knew how to make products, but the customer, we will teach the customer what he needs. That's the German attitude, right? And so if you look at the new Rolls-Royce, first of all, the flying lady is smaller. The car is smaller. The grille in front is smaller. Even the flying lady, you push a button, it disappears. This is a shy Rolls-Royce. When you buy a Rolls-Royce, you're not shy. You want big, you want the big. You know. So today, we were, my wife and I, we were at Goodwood in England where they make the Rolls Royces. And they even told us, we make it smaller because it's easier to park. To park? You mean you drive your Rolls Royce? Something is wrong with you. You see, and so this is the German attitude, and they have to learn, otherwise they're going to lose the market. You see, because the Chinese, I can tell you, they're going to copy the Rolls Royce and make it bigger than the real one. You see, this is it, and the Chinese are going to get rid of Rolls Royce, and they're going to have their own. By the way, it's clear that China is coming back in incredibly powerful way with luxury. And luxury is going to be Chinese in less than a generation. Is absolutely amazing. So my point here is that, thank God, globalization is dead. Globalization, now we have people that are losing their jobs. We have the return of protectionism. We have a return of nationalism. I mean, all that has been created by people wanting to put everybody at the same level, everybody buying the same product, and this is a reaction. If you attack a culture, the culture is going to defend itself. And I've been studying the Turkish culture since I was in school. My first work when I was 18-year-old, I wrote an essay on Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. And that was my hero, and I have a place in France, and Mustafa that worked with me. Because I study culture all my life, and there are few people that are trying to change culture, to make culture evolve, to create new cultures. And Mustafa Kemal was one of these people that tried to make this culture to grow, to modernize, to go to a future direction. So, I like him very much. But I think that the Turkish culture is so rich. I mean, you have an incredible past. So I was speaking with your new mayor recently, and I said, Istanbul is not just Istanbul. Istanbul is Byzance, and then Constantinople, and then Istanbul, and what next? Think about the next dimension. You see, Napoleon said that if planet Earth was one state, the capital should be Constantinople. That was Napoleon that said that. And so there is here the soul of Istanbul is you are the world. You see, you remember the song, "We are the world, we are the children." You are the world here. You see, and so your mission, your higher purpose, is a reptilian wine, is to bring people together. I remember the first time I went to Turkey was in 1964, driving my little deux chevaux, the little ugly car, Citroën. And I arrived at a bridge, and they told me on the other side, Asia. You are in Europe, this is Asia. I say, whoa, I just crossed the bridge. And so it's a symbol, it's a metaphor. You're all familiar with that. Of course, you know that. But your higher purpose, your higher mission is to bring the world together, to bring all the cultures together, the religion together, to make them respect, understand each other, and succeed in creating what I call the peace of culture, to make this world where we can learn from each other, where we can share with each other the value of each culture. And so this is what I wish for Istanbul. I think you are at a turning point. This is not going to be easy. I think there is a word that I don't know how to say in Turkish, but courage. Courage. You need courage, and you need to be a little crazy, because people are going to tell you it's impossible. And so if they tell you it's impossible, that's a good reason to try to prove them wrong and to do it. Thank you very much.